It's recording. I'm pretty sure the ticker at the top is correct. If there's typos, deal with it. But we're back with more casual gaming news. Week of the July 14th week of the year of the month. As I was mentioning, a lot of small stories today, like a few larger ones that we'll get to, but we'll knock out these small ones. I was going through the notes and the stories, and I was like getting towards the end. I was like, oh man, there's might be like the first week ever where there's like no layoff stories, and then I found one. It was kind of a little bit buried, but I found it. Crunch, it's okay. Thanks, I appreciate the offer. I appreciate you so much. So let's get going. One of the first things is there's apparently, I don't know if it was a leak. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 information just appeared online. If anyone remembers the Aliens Fireteam Elite game, which was pretty fun, it was kind of like a World War Z or Left 4 Dead, but you were space marines in the Aliens universe fighting swarms of necromorphs, like going and doing like little objectives and stuff like that. And it was pretty fun. Honestly, it was a pretty fun time. It was just very repetitive. There wasn't a lot to the game from what we've played, but there's some information about the second one. I don't know why. The second one, I think it was a Reddit post. I believe it was a Reddit post. Yeah, a Reddit post. So I'm not sure if any validity was confirmed. Codename Project Macondo, scheduled for release Q3 of 2025, so that's later next year. It'd be a sequel to the first game, with new modes, and I think there was updates to the characters that you could play as well. Where did it say? It's not planned to feature microtransactions or loot boxes. No in-game voice chat, which is disappointing. Dagger Company, evolved enemy intelligence behaviors. It's like basically a whole updated version of the game. Campaign, enemy types, playable characters. Okay, I think they changed them to have less customization. But again, I don't know why they needed to make a whole nother one when it's like it's the type of game where you just kind of should be releasing like extra content for it, like extra seasons and stuff like that, and expansions. I don't know why they needed to make a whole new game, but I guess we'll see as more stuff comes out how different it, like if it's vastly different, I get it, but if it's going to be the same thing just kind of like watered down a little bit, that's going to be pretty disappointing. But again, we shall see. This was from Jordan Midler, VGC. Let me put that into chat. Boop. I need to spend some time to add all of the links to like 3 previous videos. I've been so like busy, but I need to take the time to do that soon. Like most of these are going to be all small news. There was something about Link being playable in the new Echoes of Wisdom game. I think it was an official reveal. Yeah. This is an adventure game in which players assume the role of Zelda as she attempts to dispel rifts through Hyrule and rescue Link, blah, 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 blah. From a 3-quarter overhead perspective, players explore environments while fighting stylized enemies, humans, creatures. As Link, players use a sword and arrows to defeat enemies. Zelda can use magic wand to summon creatures for battle. But there's no specifics on the how or what part of playing as Link is going to play in the game. But it's going to be super limited, I assume, because they've only shown Zelda gameplay, except for that intro cutscene. The U.S. Entertainment Software Rating Board is where this came from. Tom Ivan VGC. Again, small news. So to quell some of the uproar, I guess, this was released. That, hey, Link will be playable, but we'll see how much Link we get in the Zelda Echoes of Wisdom game. The next one, we've got release dates or like start dates for Black Ops 6 betas. So we got August to September 4th for early access. Pre-orders will be first come on that one, and then full open beta September 6th through 9th. They were announced in the first episode of the Call of Duty podcast. First episode of the official Call of Duty podcast. Interesting. I forgot that was a thing there. This was Tom Ivan VGC again. But we got, so coming up, we got about a month, a little bit more than a month before the early access. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. Does it say As a first-party Microsoft title, Black Ops 6 will also be available select Game Pass plans on day one. I wonder if you're able to do the early access beta with Game Pass. I don't think it specifies here, not that I remember. We'll find out. I mean, I'll try. Next, we have... Let me close some of these tabs here. I'm going to go through all the smaller ones. Rockstar's GTA Plus seems to be coming to the Switch, which is Rockstar's like rotational GTA offering. I didn't even know this was a thing until I read this. Launched in March 2022, the service gives members access to a rotating assortment of Rockstar titles, while GTA Online players receive extra cash, cars, cosmetics, and exclusive events. I don't remember this being a thing. Games available through the service include GTA Trilogy, Liberty City Stories, GTA Chinatown Wars, and Red Dead Redemption for the consoles. So Stories and Chinatown Wars are on mobile devices. So weird. GTA Plus costs $8 following a price increase. Again, I had no idea this was a thing. But yeah, I guess it's supposedly coming to Switch. It's always surprised, or like always blows my mind that GTA 5 you could, or like any GTA game, you could just play on the Switch. A console designed for children. And you're playing Grand Theft Auto. Just wild. Jordan Midler, VGC. And something continuing on about iOS releases, I guess. The sales numbers for the Resident Evil 7 release on iOS, it's been fewer than 2,000 people. That's not a lot. That is not a lot. This is what the UI looks like, by the way. I don't know if anyone has seen that before. That's what the UI looks like. According to analysis by mobilegamer.biz, based on estimates from App Magic, has been just over 83 times since release. It's been downloaded over 83,000 times. I think. But you must pay $20 to get the full version. That can't be right. Has been just over 83,000 times. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on here with this article, which is from Jordan Midler. I don't know what's happening there. My brain broke trying to read that. So all had similarly, so basically RE4, RE Village, Assassin's Creed all had similarly slow launches. I mean, I don't know what they expect. Figure that even with some generous rounding up, you land at under 2,000 paying customers. Again, I don't know what they expected putting $20 full titles on mobile. I don't know who these are for. I guess there are some countries around the world that prefer like mobile playing, especially on phones. Okay, but I don't know who this is for in the general like larger market. I don't know anyone that's trying to play these games on iOS. Something cool for all you Xbox heads out there. Microsoft released a new dynamic background of the 360 blades. How cool is that? Shouts out. Tom Ivan BGC. Shouts out to Microsoft for releasing this. It's pretty effing cool. Who doesn't miss the blades? This is what it looks like. I mean, unfortunately, they don't blade, but they do move a little bit. They got that ripple effect back there. All right, they're rippling. They're rippling out. But the dynamic background for the blades. I really wished that it would just basically turn into the actual background. It's a missed opportunity, but you know, whatever. It's a cool thing that happened. I like that a lot. There was like a teaser announcement for the new Like a Dragon game that we saw. This is mostly for Lopez. I don't think Lopez is here, but just in case. So it's Jordan Midler, VGC. So the studio Ryuga Gotoku saying that the next game will be revealed at Tokyo Game Show 2024, which is in September, right? It's expected that 250,000 visitors will attend the show and takes place from September 26th to December 29th. So there'll be fans will be surprised about the title release or announcement in a couple months. The latest release was Infinite Wealth. Everyone loved it. Everyone loves these games. I've again never played a single one. We got the live action show coming to Amazon Prime. It's gonna be 6 episodes. So after the announcement of the new game, that show comes out. Okay. Again, pretty fun. I can't wait. Lopez is gonna freak out. Happy for Lopez. Now we'll get to it. Splitgate 2 was announced apparently for next year on console and PC. It's gonna be a completely like upgraded game. Initially, a school project creating a dorm room was actually downloaded more than 22 million times across PC and consoles from the original one in 2019. Planned for next year, been built with a vastly experienced team and promises to bring a familiar but entirely new experience to fans. So some people that previously worked for 343, Bungie, Activision, Riot, EA, so that's pretty nutso bongos, honestly. So this is shaping up to be pretty effing cool. We can watch the announcement trailer because it's pretty hype. If it'll load.
Do you worry about living up to the hype?
I don't worry about anything. What's the point of putting your life
It's so hype.
if you're not having a little fun?
Pew pew.
If you're not willing to sacrifice everything, then you don't want it bad enough.
I'm gonna fight for.
Victory becomes a choice. You either take it or you don't.
That's pretty cool. These guns are so cool. Fucking got him. Fucking got him. Oh, we got sick. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's like Tron. So many more little gadgets. So many little gadgets. Oh, that rocket launcher looks so familiar. Maybe I wonder what it would look like if you only had 2 of those tubes instead of 3. That's so cool. He broke it apart into 2 guns. He split it into 2 guns.
You know you don't get extra points for style, right?
Well, when I'm done, they're gonna have to change that rule.
There's so much confetti.
Chat.
Yeah. Blinkgate 2. Pretty hyped. Next year, hopefully we see more gameplay stuff though. Excited. That was we already did that. We already put it in. That was Chris Scullion VGC, by the way. Next one, we've got the delayed Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League content. We talked about that last week. So they fully revealed Mrs. Freeze in this trailer and some, not trailer, this like, I guess, screenshots, not even screenshots, this art. So we got Mrs. Freeze, the freeze gun, the freeze weapons, I don't know. There, that's pretty cool, right? And then there's like a little, there's like 15 of these. That's as far as I got last time. And there's like a little gif, little gif here of Mrs. Freeze pulling out a bunch of like Iceman moves here, which is pretty cool. Again, hopefully people like this. Will Mrs. Freeze be your coming new? Maybe. Who knows? You never know. 70% says no. That's wild. So arrives on July 25th. Exciting. I guess, I mean, if I played the game and I thought it was fun, then I'd probably play that. Speaking of new characters being revealed, we got a new Overwatch hero coming out. Support hero Juno. This one, by the way, was Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. And then this one is Isaiah Colbert. Or Colbert. Or Colbert. Who knows? Revealed no Overwatch 2. I think it's playable this weekend. For this weekend only. I think they're coming the next season. Juno the Space Ranger was teased alongside Venture. A support hero. Not a AoE healer like I was hoping for. Unfortunately, at least it doesn't look like. So excited to have her in the game and can't wait to hear even more Juno. The trailer shows some of their abilities.
Curious.
She's She's from space.
One small step
She's got a little
at
squirt
time.
gun. She has like Lucio movement.
Administering aid.
And single target healer.
Yes, I got one.
I'm not a fan of this,
Kick up a dust storm.
the glide boots, because she's just gonna get popped by every Widow and every Ashe. Every sniper is gonna have a field day with this hero here.
Reporting in T equals 0.
Why would you ever do that? Like even Baptiste or something could, or Alari, right? Could pop her pretty easily.
Thanks for the help.
We got targeted heals,
Threat
couple abilities. This one's kind of weird.
Hyper ring
It's
out.
I thought this was her ult at first. I was like, how does that work? But it's not. It's not an ult. So just boost speed for a little bit. I guess like Lucio's green. And then this is the ult. It's an orbital ray.
Welcome to orbit.
So this is cool because it's like a Life Weaver's tree, I guess, but it moves and it also hurts enemies.
Look out. Here I come.
So you just stay in the area of the
Signs
beam.
Enemy life detected.
August 20th, it begins the new season. We'll see what happens. We'll see how broken this character becomes. I don't know if they're gonna be very viable right off the bat. Well, who knows? We'll see. Let's go with the Amazon Xbox bundle. So Amazon released a purchasable bundle here. This is Tom Ivan VGC, which is basically everything you need for Xbox without a console for $70, 69. Wait, hold on. Nice. It's the controller, the Fire Stick, and Game Pass, I believe it is. Let me double check that. Normally it costs 110. Yeah, controller, Fire Stick, the remote, and Game Pass for a month. So, if you want an Xbox game on a budget, and you don't mind the input lag of using your Fire Stick / television, because there is noticeable input lag on these, go for it. More power to you. A couple of connected stories here. Let's start with this one. So of all people that played PC games last year, 82% of American players, or like I guess games in general, 82% of players made an in-game purchase last year, according to this survey. 62% of all adults over the age of 18 played a video game last year. So Andy Robinson, VGC on this one. According to ComScore's 2024 State of Gaming report published by GI Biz, 62% of adults over the age of 18 play a video game, with the millennials comprising 49%, following by Gen Z at 13%. Of the people surveyed, 77% play on more than one platform, and over a third regularly use a combination of console, PC, and mobile. 86% of Gen Z and 80% of millennials surveyed said they watched esports, while 53% of Gen Z and 61% of millennials said they engaged with esports context. So a pretty even split, or similar. I don't know why it matters that much between separating Gen Z and millennials. Who cares? This is really the big one. The 82% of all players made an in-game purchase. Because you know what this is going to do? This is going to justify that people higher up in the status of the world are going to point to this and be like, look, it works. 82% of people are making in-game purchases. So what we need to do is have more in-game purchases in our games. That's what this is going to do when you see stories like this. It's unfortunate. I mean, it's cool that so many people are playing games, right? And it's cool if you really like the game you're playing and you really want to support them and you want to make those in-game purchases, but this is just going to further... There's going to be a downside to this, for sure. It's just going to further fuel the vicious industry cycle that we have going on right now. It's going to be pretty brutal. All right. Continuing on that similar note, there's a report about UK video game sales dropping by 30% in the first half of the year so far. This is Tom Ivan VGC. I think this applies to physical, I believe. Physical game sales were down by 40% year over year to 111 million pounds. I think it's pounds. while digital downloads dropped 23%, according to figures released by the the ERA. It was a tough first half for the games business with a lack of heavy-hitting releases, but we are optimistic for a strong second half, the traditional time for blockbuster releases. I don't know how... First of all, it's 30% is a lot. Like, it's a lot. But it still outpaced music and video combined? Yeah. Greater than the combined total of music and video sales. It's still outpacing other forms of physical media, but being down 30% is pretty wild. And then there's kind of a follow-up story that came out as well, where it's not as bad when you look at it over all of Europe. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. It's weird that these stories are so similar, but different reporters. Apparently, game sales remain strong in Europe overall. New data suggests unit sales are down just 1.6% in the first half of 2024. So, whereas just in the UK, everything's down 30%, in Europe as a whole, it's only down 1.6. So, I don't know what the point is. I don't. It doesn't specify what they're doing differently in other countries that they're doing in the UK specifically. It's worth noting that GSD tracks physical sales in all major European markets, but it's missing digital sales from some companies such as Nintendo. Data for Pal World, one of the year's biggest hits, is also missing. So you got to take some of these stats with a grain of salt. So overall, I think sales are okay, is what I would glean from this. Sales are okay overall, but then, you know, studios are still shutting down. Speaking of studios still shutting down and such, this is the story that I found that sneakily had some studio layoff news on it. Mortal Kombat mobile game to shut down a year after launch as developer NetherREalm suffers layoffs. This is Wesley Yinpool and IGN. But there was an update that Warner Brothers has clarified that it will continue to support Mortal Kombat Mobile and Injustice 2 on mobile. And then there's a full statement down here about it. But Mortal Kombat Onslaught released a tweet. We are sorry to inform you that Mortal Kombat Onslaught will close its operations in October. It has been an honor creating this game for our community. I love how they put K's on everything. And we appreciate the enthusiasm from our fans. In the coming weeks, we'll share a specific time of the close of the game. There's also a bunch of LinkedIn profiles, or I guess posts, about people losing their jobs at the developer, which is lame. Developers took to LinkedIn to announce they had been laid off for what looks like the gutting of the company's mobile team. I don't think it says how many people were affected, because I don't think it was officially announced yet. Let me double check here. Yeah, I don't think it's been officially announced about those layoffs. Yeah, so again, not specified, but NetherRealm suffering layoffs. That's such a bummer. Like I thought we were free for a week. We're not. We'll never be free. Thank you, Credits. Thank you, AK. Let's end on a better note. So and by end I mean end like the actual real stories. So we'll go with this one. So in the wake of Game Pass raising their prices and making a better or a different tiered system, plus removing the option to have day one releases, has given, I guess, ammunition for the FTC, who is still fighting an appeal between the Microsoft Activision Blizzard merger, saying that it is consumer harm. What did they say specifically? Okay, so product degradation, removing the most valuable games from Microsoft's new service, combined with the price increases for existing users, is exactly the sort of consumer harm from the merger the FTC has alleged. Microsoft's price increases and product degradation, combined with Microsoft's reduced investments in output and productivity quality via employee layoffs, are the hallmarks of a firm exercising market power post-merger. So, it goes on. Microsoft's price increases coincided with adding Call of Duty to Game Pass's most expensive tier, and discontinuing the console tier, which will happen shortly before releasing COD's newest game. Microsoft promised that the acquisition would benefit consumers by making COD available on Microsoft's Game Pass on the day it is released on console, with no price increase for the service based on the acquisition. Which they did say. I do remember them saying that they don't plan on raising the prices just because of Call of Duty. But guess what? They did. So they're still fighting it, calling it consumer harm. I don't disagree with what they're saying at all, honestly. So Microsoft's lawyer responded saying its factual assertions are incomplete and misleading. But I don't see where that is when they're just basically reiterating what Microsoft has said themselves. Again, I don't disagree with what they're saying at all. It is wild that they were just able to just do it, be like, no, everything will be fine. We're not going to change anything. It's going to be exactly the same. We're just going to do it. And then as soon as it was like official, they started making changes. And now they're using Call of Duty as an excuse for more changes. And again, the reduced investments in output and product quality via employee layoffs, like, not a lot of heavy hitting Microsoft games coming out in the last few years, right? They've lost the console wars, quote unquote. So I don't know. I can't fault the logic here from the FTC, honestly, which is unfortunate. So we'll see where this goes. I'm not sure anything's gonna come of it, honestly, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna be interested to see the numbers come out for Game Pass once the next Call of Duty does officially release. All right, on a slightly more upbeat note, one of the last bigger stories, Hello Games announces with Sean Murray a very large update to No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky Worlds Part 1 update. It's a complete like rebuild of the universe, apparently, with better like water technology, better atmosphere technology, better randomization for the like generated worlds. What did they say? Hello Games has completely refreshed the universe with new technology, new flora, fauna, and new gameplay. In No Man's Sky, what you see on screen is generated by the computer, and we're achieving a level of variety that just wasn't possible before. No Man's Sky ocean planets feel completely new. Ships can now land on water. Planets have wind patterns, and the waves are dynamic and react to weather. Sometimes a storm hits you, the waves rise, the clouds gather, you've got the atmospherics, the wind, all this technology comes together all at once, and there's nothing like it. So a huge No Man's Sky update. It's called Worlds Part 1. Let's check out the trailer. I don't think I watched this. Yeah, PlayStation Canada, sure.
Introducing No Man's Sky version 5.0.
5.0 is nuts.
A complete refresh of the universe.
There we go. Looks
With
a little
new
bit better.
technology, new flora and fauna, and new gameplay.
No thanks. It's the buffering. We're doing a lot here. I'm gonna put it down to 1080.
Flora and fauna, and new gameplay.
I had it at 4K.
Planet
That's pretty
variety
cool.
is far beyond
Even
what
just
was
the
possible
lighting looks way
before.
better. We got floating skylands.
Oceans have waves, reflections, and more variety.
This does look like leagues better than it
Planets
did.
have wind patterns. Waves are dynamic and react to weather. On the surface of the planet, there are new volumetrics and atmospherics. New cloud tech allows detailed clouds and weather
cool.
conditions.
Yep, there's the ship.
In storms, waves, wind, and clouds interact
that's
for
so
incredible
cool.
immersion. New creatures are
There's
out there
so
to discover,
there's so much to craft in this game.
with a combat-focused expedition.
You gotta scan it first.
Our journey continues.
Pretty cool. I wonder how big that update's gonna be. Well, if it's free, I'll probably jump into it. If it ends up being a free update, I might download it and just see how it looks. I don't remember the last time I booted up that game. It might have been like a year after it was released. Okay, that's for the most part it for like the stuff that I have notes for. For the most part, we do have some non-game related stuff. Not like video game related stuff. There was the story. I know we talked about this yesterday. Paramount Plus has canceled the Halo show after 2 seasons. I think the producers or whatever are trying to find somewhere else to continue the show. We are extremely proud of this ambitious blah 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 blah. We deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be a global success, and we remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future. I don't know if that's part of the actual article, but Xbox reportedly hopes to find a new partner for the live action series. So yeah, so like the producers or whatever are still trying to find some way to get the show back up and running. We'll see. I need to watch season 2 still. Season 1 was just not it. It was just not it. On the flip side, literally on the flip side, Fallout show has received 16 Emmy nominations. How wild is that? A video game show receiving 16 Emmy nominations. How many did Last of Us get? Is that a stat? Only 4. Is that true? Last of Us won 8 Emmy awards. Okay, so it definitely wasn't 4. So at least 8. It was nominated for at least 8. This one's nominated for 16. Outstanding drama series. What are the other ones? Writing, visual effects, production design, and other awards. Does it tell me the other awards? Outstanding fantasy, sci-fi costumes, outstanding stunt coordination, production design, picture editing for dramas. It's the same one. It's the same one. Outstanding main title design, period or fantasy sci-fi makeup, prosthetics, lead actor Walton Goggins. Let's go Wally Goggins. Drama series, sound editing, sound mixing, special visual effects, stunt performers, writing for a drama series, music supervision. So a lot of pretty decent, like thick awards. Hell yeah, I hope they win all of them. All right, that's it for the gaming stuff. A disclaimer for all you effing Marvel nerds out there. While I was scrolling through the stories, IGN is the worst offender about this. I had been avoiding the last trailer for the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Don't watch it if you don't want things spoiled. That last trailer shows a lot of spoiler stuff. There's a lot of stuff revealed that will be spoiled if you care about spoilers for the new Deadpool movie. So don't watch that last trailer, especially. Please. A lot of stuff just got spoiled in the last like day or so from me just looking at news articles. Because they just flat out put it in the headline. They don't care. IGN doesn't give a shit. All right, so let's quickly talk about... Actually, there was something here. IGN did have something on this. The CrowdStrike stuff that's happening everywhere. Oh, breaking news. This is pretty sick. Bethesda officially becomes the first Microsoft game studio to fully unionize. That's awesome. I'm gonna put this in here. Breaking news. Let's read this story real fast. Keep it in my notes so I don't forget. Kat Bailey, IGN. This is so sick. Bethesda Game Studios is officially the first Microsoft game developer to fully unionize under the Communication Workers of America. Forming a wall-to-wall union of developers, including artists, engineers, programmers, and designers. Microsoft has recognized the union. Hopefully this doesn't end up with layoffs or anything. Confirmed after 241 developers either signed a union authorization card or indicated that they want a unionization via an online portal. Following Bethesda Game Studio, we, a majority of developers at Bethesda Game Studios Dallas, Rockville, and Austin, are ecstatic to announce the formation of our union with CWA. Together as one BGS USA, we advocate for the betterment of every developer at BGS, Bethesda Game Studio, setting the new standard for our industry. During the movement sweeping across the video game industry, clear that every worker can benefit from bringing democracy into the workplace and securing a protective voice on the job. We're thrilled to get down to the brass tacks of fair contract, proving that our unity is a source of real power and to positively shape our working conditions, our lives, company as a whole. Really awesome breaking news. This broke an hour ago, basically less than an hour ago. So fuck yes, let's effing go. CrowdStrike. There was something in the IGN stuff about it because this. Oh, let me actually hide this. In case I scroll through one of those spoiler things. Will give me 1 second. The CrowdStrike stuff. I'll just leave this open as a general story about it. Because this is around, like everyone's talking about this as they should. They're trying to do the news with no computers. This is so funny.
Tom Connell here.
They can't even do it. Everything's busted. All right, and shouts out to Mod Bruno for dropping some more specifics about it. I mean, I was reading about it all day, just because of my job, but I wasn't able to get as detailed as I wanted to. So shouts out to Mod Bruno for dropping in some sweet details about this. So CrowdStrike, again, let's just preface this by saying nothing. This has nothing to do with Microsoft directly. It's CrowdStrike, who is a cybersecurity firm. They pushed out a patch or an update that had a quote-unquote defect in it. And this defect is blue screening everything that has that update. So you can't even boot the computer at all. It just constantly cycles into the blue screen, which wouldn't be like the worst if it wasn't for the fact that this specific problem can only be dealt with basically manually. So someone needs to physically go in and basically take out the defective coding, the update, whatever line of coding it is, and then reboot the computer. That can't be done remotely or with like a patch or anything, because they're blue screening. You can't even get to the screens that you need to do that stuff. So this is happening across the world. Does it give me an idea of CrowdStrike's reach? Here, do they say? The shares have been dropping, of course. Lots of stuff here. They released a few statements. I don't think they're gonna be helpful at all. But basically, CrowdStrike is one of the biggest. It's like 20% of all cybersecurity Windows computers by like large companies. So it's basically a Greenwich, to put it in non-Greek terms for you. They pushed an update into Windows for the cybersecurity that temporarily bricked computers around the world. So there's airports that have been shut down. There's hospitals where they have to cancel surgeries. Like, it's affecting everywhere. Like doctors' offices. Bruno did suggest if anyone has any like prescription meds, stuff like that, to like try to get order a refill ASAP, just in case this takes forever, because again, this is millions of computers that need to be manually fixed by someone. So an IT person needs to manually go to these devices and fix them. Yeah, your PC works because you're not running CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike specifically is for like businesses and like corporations for their security and stuff. So so the everyday person shouldn't be affected in terms of like their own personal devices. It's all like it's all infrastructure stuff, basically. High level corporate security, exactly. Mostly servers. It's all back end stuff that's all in the background of everywhere that you go that you don't really realize, but it's all connected. Not all, but like 20%, which is a 20% of the world is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't just the US, this is everywhere. It's everywhere. So this could potentially be like, this is the biggest outage ever. Like, ever, anywhere in the history of anything. and it's just so, it's gonna be so tedious and time consuming to fix it. Again, it could take weeks. It's gonna be like billions of dollars it's gonna take to fix this, because someone like hit their ones and zeros wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. Yeah, flights could not take off. Like, they had to shut down airports. So much for Y2K, am I right? Exactly. Yep. I guess the lucky ones are the people that weren't using that company. And I would not be surprised if many companies find a new cybersecurity firm after this. I would not be surprised. In terms of what I experienced at my job, I'm not gonna say on here where it is. We had some like back end slowdowns and outages. I don't think our overall systems had that firm, so we were for the most part okay. And tweet it all on Commodore 64 is funny. I don't know if it'll put them out of business. I'm sure there's going to be consequences for workers there. But yeah, the company stock has tanked. The grocery store didn't seem to be, yeah. But again, I did see there are some grocery stores that got wrecked as well. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, it's just the first day. We were seeing some, like, it was weird stuff last night as I was leaving work, where it's like, wow, we can't get into these systems or check all these numbers or anything. I don't know what's going on. Wake up the next day, or not even wake up the next day. I was reading about this happening. I know what you guys are gonna say. I was reading about this happening at like 4 a.m. last night. I was just seeing the world like go to shit at like 4 a.m. It was wild. Just watching it in kind of like real time. But they are, yeah, the largest cybersecurity company in the world. So again, it could take weeks. It could take months for this. Didn't affect your job, of course not, Torkin. But we'll see. I don't know. I wouldn't be like, this could be, depending on how long it takes these companies to like get people out there, like it could be similar to what you're seeing with the cargo ships. What was it, last year or the year before, that got stuck? And all the, like, the shipping container industry was like wrecked for a while. It could be something similar to that, because if they were just like, hey, take this stuff off these devices, that takes a long time too. I guess it depends. Like it depends, because it's not generic enough for it to be like everything's gonna be affected. It's just a big enough firm that it could be anywhere. It could be Skynet. You know what I'm saying? It could be Skynet. Yeah, the Suez Canal that was blocked for that longest time. But yeah, it could have like lasting rippling effects similar to when the Suez Canal got blocked, where like shipping in that entire region was halted, and that affected the shipping everywhere in the world, which was nuts. And that's basically the last thing that we have for today. Let me just double check here. So we were about time, about usual time. And let me just confirm here that there was nothing new. Nothing here. Okay, so we're fine. So that's gonna be it. Thank you, everyone that hung out for Casual Gaming News Friday again. Check out the links in the chat. I did it again. I forgot the S. Forgot the S again. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, Instagram. Check out especially the Discord if you want to suggest any news articles to talk about. Again, feel free to let me know in live chat in the comments any other topics you want to talk about, any other segments that you want to suggest, stuff like that. You got the suggestion box in the Discord, you got the comments in YouTube. Do what you gotta do. But thank you again, everyone that hung out. Really appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next week.